just want to jump right off into it and ask about your great campaign you're doing with Abbott Dream Team. What inspired you to get involved with them this year?
Abbott is one of the global health leaders in the world, and they're doing amazing from a nutrition health performance with this camp. And so for me, I have I'm going into my 13th year in the NFL, and so nutrition, taking care of your body. I wouldn't be where I am today without that. And so just to be able to partner with a company that is prioritizing the nutrition side, the health side, is paramount to me, and important to me. And so just to be able to be out here with these kids with the opportunity to go to Real Madrid for a week, was an honor and really a no-brainer to partner with Abbott.
Sounds great. And I just you were actually at the tryouts, I believe, in DC. How's that been
Yep.
going?
Yeah, I was there for I spoke to the guys before the tryout today. We've been in the DMV now for a little over a year. And I can feel the passion, the love for the Washington Commanders as a team from the community. And so I love being a part of being able to go into the community and see the people, and really just be out there with a sport that I'm not necessarily familiar with how they practice, how they train, and so for me to just be out there and see another sport that with young men that have goals of taking the games to the next level was extremely fun to be out there.
Good. And any like specific advice that I guess you could give them that necessarily, like I said, they're obviously a football player, but that you'd be able to offer them as they take this next step in their journey?
Yeah, I think for me it was the message that I told the guys was really, you can't go out here today and put all this pressure that you are working towards today. The reality is they've been working their entire lives for this opportunity. They've been training hard for this opportunity. And so don't go out there and be a shell of yourself because you're putting so much pressure on yourself to be great because today could dictate a chance to train with at the premier facility in world football. And so for me, I think that is the message to go out there, leave it all out there, stay hydrated as much as you can. Obviously, it's a little muggy in the DMV, but really just go out there and be yourself. And so you can walk off the pitch after 2 hours of training with some of the best coaches in the area. That you can walk out of there like I gave it my all. I'm proud of the performance I put in, and whatever happens, happens.
It's definitely an amazing message. And it's interesting, like you said, you've just been in DC with the Commanders for a little over a year now. I just want to get your feedback on obviously the team this that close to the Super Bowl. Just what inspired the team, or I guess got you guys motivated to make such an amazing postseason run, where a lot of people really didn't have the highest of expectations going into the season.
Yeah, I think the thing about the NFL that is real is the teams that are going to continually improve throughout the season are going to give themselves the best chance to be successful in the postseason. The teams that peak really early in the season and just maintain that level, it's going to be really hard for them to be successful in the long run because the teams that are going to continually improve are going to catch them and pass them and are going to have more confidence at the end of the season. And so for us, I think the expectations were low outside of the building, but in the building, we knew the type of people, the type of team that we could possibly have as long as we continued to work. And I think that's why I have loved being here from the moment I got here, is because I'm surrounded by a bunch of men that love the process and love to work. And so for me, it was a no-brainer to come back here. I loved last year. Obviously, we fell short of our ultimate goal, but I'm excited to be back.
And obviously, throughout your career, you've had multiple Pro Bowl appearances, you worked with different quarterbacks. Did you have any like caution going working with a rookie quarterback and just the way that he handled himself throughout the season? Obviously, Jayden Daniels and everything that he's done and can do moving forward.
Yeah, I signed here before we even really knew. I signed before free agency when there was no quarterback on the roster, before Marcus was even on the team. And so I really I didn't know Coach Quinn, but I heard a lot of amazing things. I obviously knew Cliff Kingsbury very well, and I trusted those two guys. I said I wanted this as an environment. I wanted to. My experience in Arizona the year prior was extremely difficult without Cliff, and so I just wanted to get back around people that truly believed in me again and wanted to see me at my best. And whatever happened with the quarterback situation would happen. And needless to say, it far surpassed all expectations. Marcus, in my opinion, is not a backup quarterback in this league. And Jayden is obviously one of the best quarterback in this league, in my opinion. So um, I'm excited. I'm excited to be back with him. Obviously, I think we've taken another step this offseason between the two of us in terms of tight end quarterback connection. But at the end of the day, nothing that happened last year, none of this stuff. It's about proving it every day, starting in about 2 weeks when we start training camp. What kind of team we're going to be, what kind of offense we're going to be, what kind of resiliency we're going to have. And so for me, that's the exciting part about football. It all starts anew every year. Everyone's got high hopes, everyone's got optimism, but it's who's going to put in that work to make sure that optimism turns into reality.
There's actually, you brought up something that was a great segue for me. I was going to ask about Cliff Kingsbury, just your relationship with him and how you guys are able to just come together and like, you guys have just great chemistry. Like, how is that able to develop so fast from Arizona and then bringing it over to Washington?
I mean, Cliff is a guy that, people kind of view him as this cool guy. He's on these vacations and whatnot. Cliff is a guy that loves the game. He's literally the first one in the, people say first one in, last one out. Cliff Kingsbury literally is the first one in the building. He's in there like 3 a.m. some days, um, watching film, grinding, trying to put his players in positions to be successful. And I'm a guy that loves the process and loves to grind as well. And so for me, I think the mutual respect, the mutual admiration we have of each other is based on the process of trying to be the best version of ourselves every day. And he knows I'm doing everything I can to get open for him or block whoever he needs me to block and doing everything I can to be successful on that play for that team. And I love playing for him. He's not going to ask me to do anything I don't have 100% confidence in doing. And it's the same for every player. He's going to put players in positions to be successful. He's not going to just put people say they can't do this, they can't do that. I need someone else, and he's going to maximize everyone's individual skill set. And it's shocking that that's not the mentality of all coaches, but Cliff takes it to another level.
It's definitely, and I want to take you back a little bit because, obviously you won a Super Bowl already with the Philadelphia Eagles. You had quite arguably one of the biggest plays of the game, the go-ahead touchdown score. What do you remember most about that moment? And obviously having to wait through the instant replay and just that whole process of, you just had basically the game-winning score to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, you don't really think about it, honestly, during the game. I think there was like 2 minutes left or whatever it was, maybe just past the 2 minute warning or right above the 2 minute warning. And so the mentality was get ready to go score again, the way the Patriots had been moving the ball up and down the field. And when you had that guy at quarterback number 12 over there, it was you better get ready to score again because the inevitable is probably going to happen. And luckily, or not luckily, but Brandon Graham made a phenomenal pass rush, ended the game essentially with his strip sack, kicked a field goal to go up 8, and they didn't hit the Hail Mary at the end of the game. And so for me, it doesn't really hit you until talking about it years later that you had the game-winning touchdown in their first Super Bowl, in the Eagles' first Super Bowl. But it's something that obviously I didn't do myself. There was a lot of coaches, a lot of players that went into that. And so I was just able to make the play when my number was called.
And obviously, you've done so much in your career. Just the records that you hold, the most receptions by a tight end in a season, and like I said, the Pro Bowls and different things that you've done. What is your overall motivation? Like, what keeps you going and to say that there's more I want to get? Because usually when players, get these type of accolades, they're like, okay, probably what else do I have to prove? What keeps you motivated? I guess keeps that hunger.
Yeah, I think for me, it is a constant quest to get better. The best thing about sports is there's literally not a perfect player that's ever played, regardless of how good you are. And so there's always this quest and search for improvement. And I love that about football. I feel like there's still things I improved on last year, still things I can improve on this year. And so I love that aspect of the process. And I also just, whenever I'm done playing, I don't want to look back and say I regret anything. I want to look back at my career and said, whatever happens, whatever people want to say about my career, whether you view it as a great career, a poor career, that I gave everything I could to be in my best for however many years I play. And that way, when I'm done, I can move on to the next chapter of my life, next season of my life with no regrets or no, man, if only I worked a little harder, if only I didn't go out as much, or if only I took a little better care of my body. And so for me, that fear of regret, that fear of not being at my best and not giving it my all is probably the driving factor of my entire career.
I hear that. Zach, thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate it. And for everything that you're doing right now with the campaign. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.